All right, so next up we got top five most difficult championships. Now this to me, I was thinking like hardest road to the championship, odds stacked against you. Like you most likely wasn't supposed to win this chip for majority of these. So I'm gonna let you kick
Yeah.
off with your five.
So I did mine like kind of similar to how you said like stacked against like or how crazy the run was. So my top five, I got 2011 Mavs, '04 Pistons, the '95 Rockets, 2016 Cavs, and '02 Lakers.
Oh,
'02 Lakers, yeah. I know that's kind of crazy for what people think, but
did they win at 02?
yeah, 2000, '01, and '02. That was a three-peat year.
Oh, 01, 02. Okay. Uh, all right. So is that 1-5?
Yeah, that's 1 through 5. That's 1 through 5.
I think we were similar. All right. So my five was Mavs 2010, 2011 with that Dirk run. Then I had
Yeah,
I had 2015, 2016 Cavs. Then I had Rockets 94, 95. Then I had Pistons 03, 04. And then I had Pistons back to back when they won in the 80s with Z.
yeah. Okay, so we pretty much got everyone except the last one that we got. It was
Uh,
pretty similar. I got the Lakers, you got the Pistons. So usually, all right. Let's just talk about it. So Mavs. I know we just talk about the finals, but if you think about who Dirk had to go through just that whole run,
it's the run
and
too.
then run after,
The run count. At least
yeah, yeah, no, no. Like I know people always focus like solely on like, oh well, like they beat the Heat meltdown, whatever. But like who he had to play. Like me and you know that, but most people don't like realize who he had to go through as part of that run. It wasn't just like, all right, we like kind of ran through the Western Conference and like some sweet people, and then now we here, we got to play LeBron, and we still won. Like no, folks had to play Kobe. Like they played Kobe, they played the Thunder, like the up and coming Thunder, like who would make the finals next year, and then still had to play like LeBron. That's just like the highlights type shit. But I don't know, Dirk like was crazy. I think it's just like that's one of those teams where like when people say magic in the bottle, I feel like it's one of those teams. Like timing was right, everything is perfect. We got perfect point guard. We got a crazy center who's gonna be like knocking shit down. Shout out to Tyson Chandler. We got the Matrix like in the back end of his career, like in his like Andre. If you think about it too, like Sean Marion then was kind of in that like Iguodala role now. Like well, not now because Iguodala isn't as good as he was like, but like 2015 Iggy, like that similar kind of time. I feel like that's just me for how Sean Marion. But
You know
yeah,
the
go ahead,
crazy
my fault.
part about that one is though, Sean Marion wasn't even starting. Karan Butler was
No,
the starter.
that's it. Yeah,
They was missing a whole starter on that run, bro. It's just I think people forget Karan Butler was even on that team because he was hurt the whole series. How you miss a starter
yeah.
and win the chip? But like you said,
Win
that
the
was
shit.
that was magic in the bottle, bro. Because when I heard that Jason Terry got the tattoo before the season, I was like, oh nah, bro. It was something in the air that like
Yeah,
different. 'Cause don't know NBA player get no tattoo that they finna win the chip. Like even like fans do that
yeah.
shit. They get a tattoo or something, but not no player.
No player does that.
But like
No
you
player.
said, it's crazy who they went through it, and you left out one team. They had to go through Brandon Roy and LaMarcus Aldridge in the first round.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was the first team. That was the first
That's
team.
a 48. That's a 48 win team in Portland. Then they had to go through, like you said, Kobe and the Lakers, a 57 win team. Then OKC, 55 win team, and then get to the finals. And they play in Miami with a 58 win team.
And nobody thought they were winning that. There's not a soul outside of maybe Mavericks fans. And if they were being real, they probably didn't think they was winning anyway.
The niggas on the team didn't think they was winning. Except for Jason Terry. Jason Terry was the only one who was like, yeah, we got this in the bag. And then, and I forgot it was one All-Star next. It's Dirk. And that's it.
Yeah,
I'm not saying like the players was bad, because obviously you're not winning no championship with bad players, but the drop off is crazy
yeah.
from Dirk to
Talent
Jason
wise,
Kidd, past his prime Jason Kidd, Sean Marion. That's what I'm saying. You got to spot up Jason Kidd out here hooping. Jason Terry, Deshaun Stevenson was getting minutes. Like some of the players that they had playing, it was like it was, and it's crazy that like that's the I feel like that should be the consensus most difficult championship, at least in recent
yeah.
history. Obviously, I don't know about the 70s, the 80s, and stuff like that, like early 80s, but like that for me is crazy. All right, so we
Yeah.
got that one. You said what was your second one?
I had '04 Pistons.
Oh, four.
Like '04 Pistons. One, like how you like we always talk about. I think everybody always says you probably need like a top 5, top 10 player to win a chip. Bro, they like had Chauncey Billups. They just had a bunch of like really, really good role players. And I wouldn't call them role players like they're not starters, but like you got Chauncey Billups, you got Rip, you got Tayshaun Prince, Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace. Compare that to the Lakers, who still have Kobe, you still got Shaq. That alone outweighs that. Then you add up past his prime, Karl Malone, cool, and they still had Gary Payton. Like Gary Payton is still Gary Payton at the end of the day. Like given it's still like past his prime, it's similar to that time frame, like how Jason Kidd was on that 2011 run. But like that team was there. I was 7 at the time, and I know nobody thought that team was going to win.
Yeah,
I wanted them. I wanted the Pistons to win just because I still hated the Lakers. So like, man, y'all did my boy AI dirty like like in '01, bro. Like no, like y'all got to go. But like the fact that they actually won that is crazy. Like Mr. Big Shot, come on. Like there's no way that everybody thought he was going to win that. Let alone, especially when they had to go. Hold on, I forgot who they had to go to. I had it written down. But like period, just having to like you said, like odds stacked against you, like, and then going up against teams like that, like nobody thinks that's gonna happen, bro. And I think did you have this on your team? Was this the team you had on there too?
I had them 4. I had them 4.
Oh yeah, before.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like I'll let you get your spiel about it too. My fault. I don't
I'm
want to
not.
take too
I
much
think
time.
you said majority of the stuff with that. 'Cause I ain't had too much on them, but yeah, just beating that Kobe team in the finals alone. I don't even remember who they went against through the rest of the playoffs. I think you said you got it, but I don't know who else they went through. But just you beating that Lakers team, that was fresh off a three-peat. That would have been 4 if they would have got that chip, right?
Yeah, they had a gap because '03 Spurs won.
That's right.
But still, like you said, like fresh, like still like 1 year removed from a three-peat.
Yeah, this
Like
is
literally 1 year. They've literally been there before.
this is prime. This is still prime Kobe and still prime Shaq. And you add Gary Payton, who I think I just watched it the other day. That Gary Payton on the Heat, now that was a shell of himself. But that Gary Payton with the Lakers was he still had something left in the tank, bro. He wasn't just out there.
Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, nah, he wasn't no bum or nothing. So first round, they didn't really own to say they didn't play nobody. They kind of like had to sweep the first round. They played the Bucks. They won that one in 4. Then they played the Nets, and the Nets at that time, I think they still had Jason Kidd. Yeah, they still had Jason Kidd. Still had like that's the team that pretty much was like pretty much the same team they had in the finals like 2 years before, and that was a 47 win team. The East was not that good when you look at it. It seems like, but and then they beat the Pacers in 6. And the Pacers, if you remember, that's when they were like starting to build to where they thought like before the Malice in the Palace and all that stuff happened. This is when they were starting to build all like that team up, like that team that should have like probably won a championship had they Malice in the Palace not happen. People get suspended, people get hurt. But doing all that, like going through that, and that might be like a sweeter walk than the finals was, but still going up against like a powerhouse like that, like you said, like Bill Wallace being able to check Shaq
No,
is ridiculous. A 6'9", probably one of the strongest dudes in the league, but like a 6'9" center before we get small ball, like a 6'9" center going up against a 7'1", 320, or however much Shaq weighed. Like, and then maybe not clamping him up, but doing enough where you can come out of that series with a dub. Like, that should not have happened.
how many games did they win in? Did it say that?
I think it was 5, wasn't it? Let me
5.
make sure. Yeah, no, it was 5. It was 5.
If
You win against the prime Shaq and Kobe in 5.
that's crazy. That's because
That
like if it's 7, it's like all right, it could have went either way. You beat them in 5.
oh,
It was
that's
y'all was the
yeah,
better team. Like it's no question. It was the better team was us. That's crazy.
yeah,
So you had them 2, I had them 4. You had 2015, 2016 Cavs, right?
yep,
3-1.
yep.
I don't think that one take as much time. We can touch on it a little bit, but 3-1. They ran through the East, but I just think the East wasn't that bad except for the Raptors, but LeBron still took care of them easily.
Look, man, I don't even think the Raptors are bad. I just think LeBron makes them look so bad
Because they
that
was
they look that you.
other than him.
I think if I'm not tweaking, 2016. That was the year the Hawks were first when they had like no, it was that 2015 when they had like 5
I
All
thought it
Stars.
was 2. I thought it was 2, but it was the year before. when
It
they
was 2015. Okay, it was
had like
2015.
60 wins and some goofy shit.
Yeah, it's the most flukiest shit. Just a team full of 82 overall players,
Yeah, they get them niggas full all star.
bro. Like, there's no way.
Oh shit! Nah, that's another one of them seasons that need to take a look back at because that was some goofy.
Take a rewind.
Ain't nobody believe y'all niggas was like that.
Nobody did. They didn't believe they was like that.
Nigga, Jeff
I
Teague.
know they.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Jeff Teague was trying to check Kyrie. We for real, bro? All right.
You know, that was over with.
All right.
That's a recipe for disaster.
All right, then we both had 94, 95 Rockets. The second
Yeah,
one, the two-peat, easy. Six,
Hakeem saw his window when Mike was out and was like, "That's ours. We take those."
uh, they was coming off a chip, which I think they ain't talked about enough. Like to come off of a
Yeah,
championship and win another one, like, bro, you're playing until what is it? July? Is it June or July? Whatever it is, I think it's June. You playing
yeah,
late
like
June.
June.
You playing late June or whatever until, and then you got to come right back in a couple months and start the season up again and go through another 82 and go through the playoffs again. Like that shit is hard. They was a
Yeah,
sixth seed. They only had 47 wins, and I believe they was the lowest seed ever to win a chip. Like nobody was lower than a sixth seed and won a chip before.
yeah.
Then, bro, I went back and I looked at it. The path they took to get to this ring, bro, is crazy. Now,
It's ridiculous.
they're the road team on all of these. All of these, they're the road
Yeah,
team. They're the sixth seed. They went through first round, Karl Malone, John Stockton, 60-win
the
team.
Jazz. Yep.
They went through Charles Barkley and the Suns, 59-win team. Beat David
Cooking.
beat David Robinson and the Spurs in his MVP year, and they was a 62-win team. And then beat Penny and Shaq in the finals. Swept. My fault. Swept in
Smoked
the
them.
finals, bro. That is a insane run.
Smoked them so bad. Shaq was basically like saying, "Check me 1-on-1 and see what happened." That's how bad it was, bro. Like Shaq was like, "See me in the ones after." Like, and I think if you talk about individual, I think that's probably the greatest. Like Hakeem, like for that run, like how they had period. Hakeem probably has a claim as like the best finals run outside of maybe Dirk, because who same thing we had to go through, but like the numbers that he put up and still been able to come out like that, bro. Like Hakeem is already different, but when you look at that kind of shit, you just be like, damn. It puts it into perspective, like how, like you said, 60, like lower seed, and they coming in like murking, like these teams were supposed to be like the upper echelon of the conference, like they definitely favored it, and coming out the pro.
The only
It's
the only reason that I didn't put them number one because I think just listening to that and saying a six seed beat essentially 460-win teams on the road on the way to a chip. The only reason I didn't is because I think he had more help than Dirk did. He had Clyde Drexler.
yeah, no, he did. He definitely did. He still had Clyde.
Robert
He's
Ory.
the reason. He's the reason Kenny gets to talk crazy to Charles Barkley on TV.
Right.
But yeah, no, like you said, they definitely up there for that though. And then you said you had the Pistons, right? The back-to-back Pistons, like '92.
Back-to-back Pistons.
Yeah.
I think just off the strength of them going through so many times. Well, one, the East was crazy back then.
You still had Mike. Mike is enough, but like getting through Mike and then like still having energy after like the Jordan rules, like we gave out an ass whooping. We tired, and now we got to come back here.
I don't remember if they actually had to play this up. They had to play this up to get out the East. I ain't even. I ain't got to fact check that one. I know you had to play this up in the '80s. You had to play this up to get out the East. So in both of those runs, you go through Jordan, Bird, and then you beat Magic in the finals twice. I don't care what else happened, bro. That's the three on the Mount Rushmore when you think at that time, like from like mid '80s into the '90s, like that's the tier.
That's three. That's 4.
Them the guys.
That's the.
Bro. And Isaiah Thomas led that team as a 6-foot guard all the way to 2 back-to-back chips, bro. Like they ain't had no big wing. Like when you think about it, who really wins is bigs and is taller wings. Ain't no point guard leading you to no chip. So I had to have them. I had them 5, but I feel like I had to put them in there because you don't go back to back with no 6-foot person as best player and go through that trio and not be in that upper echelon.
Yeah, I'm rocking with it though, man. Like Zeke is that guy, bro. I don't know why people act like people disrespect Zeke so much when you talk about like best point guards ever, but he's probably I want to say maybe I don't want to count. I don't want to say I don't count Oscar Robertson, but when you think about like those undersized guards, no, he's because Oscar went undersized. Like those undersized small guards who the first ones to get. I'm giving you buckets and I'm handing out dimes. Like he was like small Chris Paul before Chris Paul. Like yeah, that's how at least that's how I think about it. That's how I was looking at it. Like you small Chris Paul before Chris Paul. Um, so yeah, I didn't have them. I probably should have had them. I kind of want to put them over, but who I had now that I'm thinking about it. But I had O2 Lakers just because of that three-peat. Like three-peat in the Western Conference at the time, and then like you said, back to back is hard. Back to back again when you still like just have two guys, and I mean obviously we see like Jordan did it. Jordan had that. They still had the same coach, but you have Jordan and you have Scottie Pippen. I think those two are in themselves, and then they fill the rest of the roster out. I think a little bit better, but having like Shaq still be that guy and then coming back, but like they ran. I don't want to say it, like they ran through it so sweet. It's ridiculous, bro. Like they swept the Blazers first round. They beat the Spurs. This is still like O2 Spurs. So this is like you still got David Robinson and Tim Duncan on the same team with Greg Popovich. You running through them in 5 games, like in 5 games. And then this is also the little controversial conference finals with the Kings and all that kind of stuff and how that goes.
I had some
But
luck.
they got out of there. They got out of there at 7. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, there's a whole lot going on in that one. So they probably still got out of that. But that's a little. If you're a controversy dude, you can look at that. And then they swept the Nets. But to like go through all that, like you said, you going back from June to June to June again, and they coming through smoking most teams. Only team that really gave them smoke was the Kings. That's the only team that gave them any problem, and they got out of there in 7. But and then coming back to like the Nets is like nothing at that time. Like you guys are a fly on the wall. I'm just gonna watch you out. But still, like I said, like going back to back again, while Shaq is still being Shaq, like not missing a beat. And then Kobe like having this like super like Kobe emerged already, but having this super emerge with Kobe is like, which one of them is really the guy that we have here? Like I just feel like that's like probably one of the hardest ones too, because you still already got the game plan to set out for you. Like stop these two. We can't even do that. Like we can't do it. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. All right, well, just fold over, I guess. But like I don't know. I do agree with you. Like looking at it now, I probably should have had like that '90s run for Pistons over this team.
I,
So
I
I'm not like mad at the pick though.
I think either way. I mean, 'cause like you said, like the three-peat is crazy. Like they went back to back. Back to back is hard, but three-peat just to sustain that. But like who else has a three-peat? I know the Celtics got some because them niggas stay winning. But it's the
And they,
Lakers and the Bulls. Ain't nobody
yeah,
else three-peated. Duncan ain't three-peated. LeBron ain't three-peated. Who else?
nah.
None of the
You
other
said
three-peated.
the Warriors have it right. I think that's the first one you said.
On our Warriors ain't competed either. No, like, so all these great
Yeah,
teams, all these great players, as great as they is, it's you can count on one hand how many people that actually did a three-peat. So yeah,
yeah.
I ain't mad at that one. Sure, back to back is hard, but shit, a three-peat is crazy.
Three people crazy.